I'm Von Linsington, it's Wugle Wednesday, and today I'll be making Aaravos from the Dragon Prince. First, I'm going to roll out some Sculpey to make clothes. I'm leaving it a little thicker than usual because Aaravos wears layered clothing, but it's not even layers like when we've made shirt and jacket sleeves for Wugles like Charlie or Hades. It's going to be a jagged sheer fabric on top and a more solid black layer underneath. So, I made the jagged border with my needle tool and flattened down the clay on the bottom half to create the layers. This takes a very long time, even with the footage sped up. Once it's done, I use a knife to cut an even stripe on the top and the bottom and cut a strip so that I can wrap it around the woogle. And I made it a little too wide, so I cut it down again. Then I cut the trim with this curved tool and I start wrapping it around the woogle, leaving the front open. And it's okay to make the strip too long and just cut it down as you go. Next, add 2 small ovals for the eyes. For the long hair, I'm going to roll out some pieces of clay from the garlic press really long and really thin. And then I'm going to do it over and over and over again to make the Wugle's long hair. I roll 2 thicker, slightly shorter rolls of clay and then fold these in half and taper the ends where the fold is. These are going to be the ears. And then line them up and trim them to make sure that they match. And once the ears and eyes are in place, we can start doing the hair. I carefully line up the thin strands that are going to be closest to the Wugle's body, and as I layer upward, I kind of bundle them and I'll use scraps until I get enough layers and it looks right. The ones that are closer to the body are going to form the basic shape of the hair, so those are a little more important to get all just properly in place. You can be a little bit messy going up as long as the outside looks okay. This is also going to take a long time, even when the footage is sped up. Now this looks ready, and wrap it around the top and back of the woogle, careful not to press too hard and ruin the details of the hair except for right near the top and the front, where it's okay if it gets smoothed out a little bit because it just looks like a part. If there's too much of a gap between the back of the ears and where your hair is, you can just fill it in strand by strand until you're happy with it and it looks nice and full. And when it's in place, make 3 smaller bundles of thin clay that are going to be the front bangs for the left and the right and in between the eyes. Last on the list of things to sculpt is horns. So make a cone shape and then an angled cut about a third from the top of one side and another angled cut about a third from the bottom on the opposite side. And then you can kind of pinch and taper the shape of the horn from there. Once you figure out where the horns are going to be placed, you can drill a small hole into the clay where the horns are going to be. And then press each one into place and carefully seal it in with small bits of extra clay. Now all that's left to do is bake it and paint it. I'm going to be honest, I think Aaravos is a little more gray than the shades that I ended up picking, but since we've mostly seen his character through mirrors, magic, or projection, he often has a bluish glow, and the blue caterpillar is kind of part of him, I think, so I went with blue. I faded to a lighter gray blue from the tips of the limbs and the top of the head to a darker midnight blue around the chest and underneath, and this took several layers and several shades and just fading in between each layer. I painted the entire strip of clothing black, both layers, and then I went back over the upper layer with a pearlescent paint, and this made it look a little bit more like sheer fabric that you can see through. I also used a combination of pearlescent and glitter paints to be the specks of stars on his face and arms. Aaravos is such an interesting villain, and I can't wait to see more of him. He's so charismatic and mysterious, and I just need to know what is going on and why he was trapped where he was trapped. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Your favorite character could be next. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.